Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bhavna. I'm a dentist practicing in Sharjah, UAE. Today's video is not a regular dental tips video. Today's video is a video for my friends and colleagues who are dentists who are trying to get a job in UAE. So this video is based on my personal experiences both as a job seeker as well as an employer that I look for in a dentist when I want to hire a new dentist. So I have broken it down into 15 main points. So they are being sure of what you want. Number two, like write all your licensing exams. Being in UAE, creating a good CV, creating a good case portfolio, keeping all your documentations ready, keep updating your skill sets, keep applying for jobs, learn Arabic and other languages, learn driving, having a social media presence, having an idea about medical insurance, giving a good interview, being prepared to start job from the very next day, and having the right attitude. So these are some of the main points. First point is being sure of what you want. So most of the dentists, especially who are ladies, they come to UAE because their husbands are already working here. So have an idea which place exactly you are going to be settling down. So as you all know, UAE has 7 Emirates: Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, and Al Quwain. So if you're going to settle down in Dubai, you have better write the DHA exam before coming here. If you're settling down in Abu Dhabi, better write the HAAD or the DOH exam. And if you are settling down in other Emirates, the Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Al Quwain, you need to write the MOH exams. So first decide where you may be staying and then write the correct exam and be sure of what you want. You have to be a good dentist to be in a place like practice in a place like UAE. So make sure you are confident of yourself as a dentist. And because if you really don't like dentistry or you want a job change, because UAE is a land of opportunities, there are so many other things that a dentist can do other than dentist if you're not confident of being a dentist. So it's you don't have to force yourself to do something you don't like here. So if you are sure you want to be a dentist, so make your goals and priorities really clear before you start searching for a job. And if you are like a regular job seeker who is coming to UAE and you are ready to be settling down anywhere in UAE, I would suggest write all the licensing exams, especially boys and males. They are prepared to, they're starting a new career in UAE. They can settle down in any of the Emirates. So for them, I always suggest write all the licensing exams, the DHA, the HAAD, as well as the MOH before you come to UAE, because then you can be prepared to take up any offer in any of the Emirates. Because with just one eligibility, maybe if you have just DHA eligibility, no employer in any of the Emirates or can hire you except for an employer in Dubai. So that really restricts your chance of getting an employment. Whereas if you have all the three eligibility letters ready, anywhere you get a job, you will be immediately prepared to, the employer can immediately hire you, because no employer can hire, say if I'm an employer in Sharjah, I cannot hire an employee who has just a DHA eligibility, however good they are, because the paperwork is too long to convert it from a DHA eligibility to a MOH license. So better you can write the all three licensing exams before you come to UAE. So next point is being in UAE. So 95% of the employments are given to the candidates who are already in UAE. So unless you have some contacts or you have a very good CV and impressive CV, no employer will take the effort to call somebody in another country and take the risk of employing them. So and the next point I want to talk about is having a very good CV. this you have to put a lot of effort into. Make a proper CV with your photograph, with all your credentials, with all the courses you have done, like how many patients you have done and everything. So the more the CV is impressive, the more chance you get, you may get a call for an interview. Because on an average, if we advertise for a job offer as a dentist, we get minimum 100 to 200 CVs. So if you need to be picked out of that, it has to definitely be based on a good CV. So everything that you feel that could add to your credentials, please make it written. And next point is, along with the CV, when you apply for a job, I would suggest you add an additional case portfolio, or your if you have an Instagram account or something like that where you share your cases, something like that. Please share that also with your in the email that you are sending for the job offer. Or along with the CV, you can attach some of the cases before and after that you have done. So nowadays employers are looking for solid proof before they hire any candidate. So if you have a good set of cases that you have done, that adds to your credibility. No, the employer wants to take a risk just based on verbal promises. If they see something, seeing is believing. So if they see something, your cases and your achievements, it will definitely increase your chances of being hired. Next thing is keeping all your documents ready. So keeping your documents ready includes get your embassy attestation. So all our documents like our degree certificates, etc., has to be attested on the back side. So all this you have to keep it ready. Keep your good standing ready, a certificate ready. It should be having at least 6 months validity, an NOC from husband, and any other visa documents. All these you have to keep it ready. And if you are especially for dentists who need an employment visa, I think nowadays hepatitis B vaccination is mandatory. So even take those vaccinations and keep those documents also ready, so that there is no small things that stop you from being hired. Next thing is keep updating your skill sets. So dentistry is changing every day, and every thing is becoming newer every day. So there's no way you can just stay back and say I have finished learning. You have to keep updating. You have to keep learning. So attend CMEs, attend any other interesting courses, especially in UAE. There's a lot of demand for aesthetic treatments and cosmetic treatments like veneers and bleaching and whitening. So if you can go attend some courses or do some cases like that, it would be a real plus point for you to be hired. Also in UAE, say maybe it may take some time before you are hired for your first job. So there is no point sitting at home and or sitting back and just waiting to be hired. You have to keep attending the CMEs that are going on in UAE. There are many CMEs that happen every month, so you can keep attending one of them and keep being in touch with your job as a dentist. Also, there is some implantology privilege things that GP dentists can apply for. So, if you are a GP dentist with some implantology privilege, there's much higher chance that you will be hired over the other candidates. Also, fields like endodontics. These are the bread and butter of every dentist in UAE. So, if you don't know to do a good root canal, you will have a tough time convincing and going patients and building your practice in UAE. So, right from India itself, you can attend some good courses in root canal and be updated with all the latest in root canal, especially rotary and everything, so that here you have more chance and you're more confident while doing the patients in UAE, because here the chance of litigation is very high. So, you have to be sure of what you do. Also, if you have any additional skills, like if you're good at impactions or you're good with dealing with kids or you like to deal with kids, treatment for kids or laser dentistry, anything like that, also you can highlight in your CV. And next point is applying for jobs. Keep applying. Okay, there are so many job sites like Indeed, Dubizzle, and so many others. So all this you have to keep applying. Register your CV, everything, and keep whenever new jobs comes daily. You keep applying for them. Okay. And number two is most best way is if you are in a specific place and you know you want a job somewhere around there, go to all the clinics one by one. Try to meet the owner or the HR manager and personally give your CV. And don't neglect anything. Some say there is government jobs, then there is hospital jobs. If you are lucky, you may even land a government job. Okay, but still, every opportunity, try to knock the door. Okay, give the CV, try to talk to them. Maybe the employer sees you. They may have a immediate vacancy and they may suddenly spot the potential and then they may just hire you. So always go door to door and give the CV to the hand of the employer. Sometimes they won't allow you to see the HR manager or something. At least give it in the reception and remind them about it. Okay. And even in LinkedIn, there are a lot of jobs that come up, and Facebook also. There are many groups and pages like Dentists in UAE, Middle East. There is a Crack Dental DHA, HAAD, like that. And these groups also sometimes post new jobs or vacancies. So all this also you can take an opportunity and apply for them. Next important skill I would say is languages. The more languages you know, the more chance you are to be hired, because Dubai is a UAE is a land with multiple nationalities. There is more than 160 nationalities living in UAE. If you know Arabic, it's a very key skill. There is much more chance that you will be hired. Hindi also, if you know, you will be having a lot of chance you are hired. So these skills, if you don't know, at least don't waste your time. When you're uh, working to get employed, like during those times that you're not employed, no point sitting dejected or anything. Do other things that are going to go on increasing your skills. There are so many online courses for Arabic, and there is even so many other classes that are there for Arabic. Enroll in one of them. Put them in the CV that I have enrolled for Arabic class. The employer may see that initiative that you put to get a job, or they may see that you're not somebody who's sitting passive. They will see that she's putting an effort or he's putting an effort to get this job, so that will also be given some added advantage for you. Also learn driving, because there is no telling where you may get a job. So if you are ready to drive and go there, and then employer sees you, like you can do split shifts, you can do any shift if you know driving. So that means there is no other you don't need to look for another mode of transport. If employer sees you have a driving license, they are very happy. And other thing is social media presence. These are some of the added advantages. So if there are some dentists who have very strong social media presence, like they have an Instagram account with a lot of followers and things like that, yes, definitely they will have an edge over the other prospective job seekers. The next point is having an idea about medical insurance, because most of the hospitals and government setups as well as private medical centers in UAE have medical insurance. Most of the patients have medical insurance. So if you have no idea about that, it's going to be a little difficult when you get a job, or even sometimes even the employer asks, do you know about medical insurance, can you handle them? So at least you should know the ICD codes and CDT codes, roughly for the dental dental treatments, so that you do not have to give a blank face to your employer. You can say I'm well versed in, I know the ICD and CDT coding. You can just say that, or if you want, you can even attend a medical coding class. There are many online medical coding classes and many other universities that provide medical coding courses, insurance courses. So you can attend one of them. Instead of just waiting for getting employed, you can attend one of these medical coding classes and keep updating your skills. So anyway, all nowadays everything is in our fingertips. YouTube, there are channels that teach Arabic, medical coding, and things. Yeah, the next most important thing is giving a good interview. So dress well, dress formally, and go for your interview. And to your best potential, try to be honest, so that the employer also knows what type of cases he can give you. And like if you don't know to do root canals, you better be frank, because there's no point you do a root canal and it becomes something complicated. Then you will be in other troubles, because UAE the rules are very strict. So the patient's voice is heard. If they raise a complaint, you will also be in trouble. The employer will also be in trouble. So make it very clear what you know to the employer so that they can give you a ideal position in the medical center. Also, be prepared to start the job from the very next day. So when you're applying, keep all your things ready. Maybe you have kids, so find somebody, a daycare center or a nanny. Prepare. If at all you get a job, you should be well prepared to even start from the very next day. So that's why it's very necessary to keep everything in order, like your documents and all your house commitments. Everything should be, you should be having an idea what you will do if you get the job the very next day, because many of the medical centers may be hiring in an urgent situation, maybe within 1 week notice or 2 days notice. Because I remember when I got my first job, I had to join within 3 days. So even then, somehow I had to find a nanny to take care of my kid, because my child was just 6 months when I got my first job. So everything has to be well planned, and so that you will be able to tell your employer, yes, I can start from tomorrow. So that should be the level you have to be prepared to get a job. And the last thing is having the right attitude. So never give up, be positive. Okay, if you are talented, however saturated the market is, if you are talented and you have a passion for this job, there is an opportunity waiting for you. So don't read comments or don't listen to anything negative, because there when if you are the right candidate, the right job is waiting for you. So these are some of the points I wanted to get across to all my colleagues and dentists out there. So all the best for your job search. I do hope all of you land good jobs. Thank you. If you have any comments or doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Also, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.